Hello, hello, hello. It's Shirley Ross, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to do a process video on how I created a layout for some cute pictures of my granddaughter. I started with, out of my stash, an old Close to My Heart how-to book, and I'm doing pattern 6 from volume 3. If you have that, that's great. If not, I am using the Changing Leaves embossing folder. I am using the Wildly Flowering paper that is been gutted. I'll explain how I did that. I'm using some paper that's coming out in the September catalog. I'm using the back side of it since Monkey Business is going to be the title. So the first thing I wanted to do was to add some texture to this early espresso, I think. I'm still learning my names. So I used just the edge. I liked the way the leaves were real close together. So I put it in like that, right to the edge. I ran it through, then I moved it down. And there's a little, you can't see it very well, but there's a little line, so you kind of know where it stopped. So I did it and ran it through again. I did it on both pieces, and that gave me the texture that I was looking for. So then I gutted. This piece is, use my Versamat here. This is also an old Close to My Heart tool. It's 8.5 by 11, so I knew I could cut out a small section. So this one I did 1 inch at the top and the bottom, and then 3/4 of an inch here. So I'll just grab my trimmer and show you how I did this. So I started with the 3/4 of an inch. So I put the paper in so it was right at 3/4 of an inch. I took the cutting blade and I put it at the 11, pressed down, moved it down to the 1. Then I turned it and I put it at the 1 here. And I put it at 8 to 3/4 of an inch. And then I just kept going around until I had the section cut out. And so now I have this piece that's left over that I can use. I don't like to see, I like to do a lot of layering, but I don't like to see paper wasted if I can help it. So this is going to be the left side. So I'm going to start by attaching, and I gave it enough space that I should have just enough of an overlap. I'm just going to put a little adhesive. When I do my layouts, I don't use a lot of adhesive because they're going to go into a page protector. I try to use just enough to make sure that things are stuck down well. And now this is going to go at the 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom. Make sure it's straight. And it's going to go right up against the right edge. Then I'm going to take the piece that I made with the embossing folder, and I'm going to put it right, butt it up right next to the piece I just put on there, and it's a little bit low, so I want it to make sure that it is even. There we are. Now the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to use some vellum. This is from the Seasons of Green and Gold. It was a special last month. It's still available, so if you're interested in it, you can still find it. And I'm going to put it a 1/2 inch from the edge. I have some washi tape on it at the top. I'm going to put a little bit at the bottom. And my washi tape is usually right next to my Of course, now that I need it, it is not right next to my die cutting machine, but I have some other, so I'm just going to grab a piece. I want to be careful. I don't want to push it down too hard because I don't want it to tear the paper when it comes off. So I have some out of my stash, some brass colored yes. Brad's. Okay, just momentary lapse. And I'm going to get my scissors. Now, you can use a piercing tool if you want, but when I was first starting out, the one thing I learned in a tip on a video I watched was that your brads are flat and long. They're not round. So it helps if you use your scissors. So I am going to, I can't, there it is. I have a little old piercing mat, so I'm going to put that under up here. I'm going to remove that washi tape from up there, move it down, because I'm going to put 3 little brads. I'm going to try not to move it. Then I'll push my brad in. And this is going to hold the vellum in place. You can find vellum adhesive. I thought this would be a good way to hold the vellum in place. And let's see if I get the legs to open. There we go. I know that will still kind of flap up a little bit. However, once it goes in the page protector, it's going to be pretty flat. So then I'm going to do another, because I'm going to do 3 total. I think I will put them at both the top and the bottom. Whoop, popped it right out. There's my third one over there. Flip it over. I know this is the boring part. And then a lot of times, because I want to make sure it's really flat, I'll just press it down onto the Versamat. Alright, and one more. And I'm just eyeballing how far apart. If you want to be really specific on where they are, you can do measurements with your ruler and then mark them and then put them down. All right, so that is pretty much the setup. So then the photos that I'm going to use on this side are these 2. And I want it about maybe 3/8, not quite a ½ inch over. And then this one's going to go right next to it. I'm not putting those down at the moment. I'm just using that so I can show you. I have my title. You know what? I'm going to put them down. Now I'm going to make sure that the adhesive is in the center. And I did double mat these with the espresso, and I used the basic white. The basic white is kind of a winter white to me, so it has not a white, but it does have a little bit of a color to it. Not quite off-white, but just a little bit. So I have my title. I showed in a video earlier on my Tip Tuesday last week on how to pull these off using a Cricut mat. I lined them up on the Cricut mat on one of the lines. Lined them up, and then once I got them lined up, then I put the washi tape over the top, and voila, you have your title ready to go. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to get my little, now these are from my stash. I want to get the Stampin' Up! Glass mat. I've heard it's really, really amazing, and nothing sticks to it. You can just wipe it off too. So that is on my wish list. I'm going to put the scissors away. I'm trying to be good about putting things away as I'm done with them. All right, let me see if yep, I did good on cleaning the nozzle. I try to clean the nozzle every time I use my liquid glue so that it doesn't dry in the nozzle. But the cool thing about picking these up with the washi tape is then I can nicely put on the adhesive. And I usually use a liquid adhesive with small pieces like this. Gives you a few minutes to move it, but then it dries really well. So what I do is I clean the nozzle, I bang it a little, and then I squeeze it until no adhesive comes out. Depends on how much ended up. I have until air comes out. Yeah, that's got a lot in the nozzle. I will get that cleaned out before I put. It'll probably be stuck when I get back to using it again, but usually it clears out when I bang it a couple of times, so I don't usually have that much coming out. All right, so then I can line it up. I wanted it to be even with the right side of the photo. Then I just have to push everything down. But I wanted it not to hang too far off the other side. That's why I had them, whoop, I moved it a little bit. Let me let it sit for a second here. Make sure everything gets stuck down. I played with it on a couple of lives, so some of the letters may have moved a little bit because M is a little bit off. There we go. Hold it straighter. There we go. But that still makes it really, really easy to put on. And then this is going to go underneath it, and I'm going to stamp busy, business, monkey business. But at the moment, I don't have this. I don't know which stamp set I want to use, so that I will work with. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I used I believe this is still part of the changing leaves, die cut, and cut some leaves out because I wanted to bring out, there's a little bit of green in this photo, and I thought that'd be really, really cool. I'm still popping the little centers out. I thought that would look really good with that. Then it's just a matter of figuring out how you want it to go on there. And I also used the decal circle, and I cut a circle out of vellum, but I think that's going to be too close to the other vellum, so I may cut it down. So let's do that real quick, because I wanted to use the vellum throughout. And I may put it at the bottom, and I can save that for the other side. I think I have another circle. All right, I might have got that monkey just a little crooked, but you know, that's okay. It is what it is. It is just part of our creative. Yeah, there we go. It's just a little bit of vellum, so you can see where it makes it a little bit smoky over it. And then I was thinking, because she's got the little red bow in her hair, so I found this little red bow. I wanted to be careful not to get the green and the blue, green and the red, to make it look like it's a Christmas layout, but I did want to pop some of the colors from the photos. So this is the left side, and then we're going to do the very same thing on the right side, with the exception I haven't got all the photos ready for that. So let's put some of this away. Put that away. Maybe I'm going to put that away. There we go. All right. So we're going to get the right side. And I think you can see it from over here. I'm going to kind of put it in the center of the two Versamets, because I'm not sure if you can see all the way to the other side. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. Use the lines to keep it straight. All right. Now, a lot of times when I'm lining things up, I will bring in the other side, just because if you're like me, it might be off just a little bit on one side, but if you lay them down together, line them up next to each other, then you can line them right up. Make sure it's straight. All right. So that one is on now. I'm going to put this one back out of the way. All right. And then I'm going to take the piece and I'm going to pull it off there because I want to be careful not to accidentally put some adhesive on there. All right. I think this piece here is just a little tad long, so I'm going to pull it off. All right. I'm going to measure it out. Should be 11, but it just feels like it's off just a touch. And it is. So let's see if we can. There we are. We just took off that little bitty tiny piece. Some people are picky about stuff like that. Some people are not. All right, so let's bring the other piece back over. Line them up. I want to be careful not to lose anything. There we are. That's better. Okay. And it's good. There are times when you have to just say it's good. So again, I'm going to put this at, let me get this straight on here now. All right, at the 1/2 inch. So it will be a 1/2 inch all the way around. All right, and again, I'm going to use the washi tape. Let me see if I can find that piece I had before. And I don't see it, so let me pull another piece. Oh, here it is. Just to put it on. And I think what I'm going to do on this side is I am going to actually put the brads at the bottom. So I'm just going to get my brad stash out here and grab 3 more. I don't have a lot of brads there. They were in for a long time, then they went out, and sometimes they come back in. I use them a lot when we had the spinner card. We're close to my heart. Okay, so let's grab this, put it underneath, grab my scissors again, and I make sure I don't get my scissors for my fabric. And make sure I don't move it. All right, and I went about here. All right, grab my brad, push it in. I'm going to see if I can do all 3 of them at once. 2 and 3. And again, I am just eyeballing. Lift it up carefully, hold it while I turn it over, and we'll do all of them at one time. And this is where you can see, this is where I save the paper. If you're like me, I usually like both sides of a paper, and you can buy 2 packs and then you'll have it, but sometimes I just still want to save whatever I can. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to leave this on for a while just so I have it on there. All right, so the way it is in the book, it has a large mat, but I'm not sure I want to do that because my photos are not that same. So I thought, I'm going to move it over a little bit. So I thought I would just bring in the photos I have left. I haven't matted all of them because I'm not sure exactly which ones I want to use. I think I'm going to put this one down here. And I have this one where she put her brother in the same costume. You know how sisters can be. So that's going to go over. I don't want it to cover the vellum, but I want it about the same distance. All right. Then I can decide if I want to mat them. I had thought about putting in a flip flap to flip it up, but I think I'm not. I think I'm going to save that for journaling, and I think I have one more photo. Maybe not. I thought I had one more photo, but I don't, so I will fill this up with some more embellishments. I know I'm going to do some more of the leaves down here, and I have a red heart that I thought I could, so that I can make like the visual triangle. I think I'm going to probably put them up here, do something down here, so you have your visual triangle and then the journaling there. So that is my process video. I will do the journaling. I like to print my journaling on either the printer or the Cricut and have it look handwritten, so I will do that. And I may just get cut some little monkeys off on the Cricut and add those along here and then over here, because it is monkey business, so I thought that would be a cute idea also. So I will share the finished layout as soon as it's done. And thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.